to. I got my kid in the bathtub. Might need to step away just for a second. Not now, because she just got in there, but yeah.
I got you. What's going on, Murder Yoga Nation? It's your boy C-Tech with another episode of the Grind and Jiu-Jitsu podcast. And today we have my good friend, my training partner, the one that beats my ass almost all the time, Micah Cross. What's going on, Micah?
A whole lot of nothing because I'm on the sideline right now. Um, but making do. You just got to roll with it.
You just gotta roll with it. So Micah got injured on our last competition, not by me, I promise you, not by me. It was just a freak accident that happened in a tournament, and he broke his foot. So he's been on the sidelines. So, just to give him a little bit of love, I wanted to bring him on the podcast to continue the jujitsu heat in his veins. So, Micah, for those who don't know who you are, give us a brief introduction and how did you find jujitsu and your background, bro?
So, would you want me to start from the beginning or just
I
like
don't
a?
you start from the beginning, middle, end. I don't care. I just want to hear you.
So the thing that got me started with combat sports as a whole is wrestling. I started wrestling ninth grade. Um, Nothing serious like freshman year, just whatever. Then I transferred schools to a newer school called East River, and then freshman, junior, yeah. So ninth grade got into it. 10th grade started actually like competing because I didn't do it any freshman comps or anything like that. And then 10th grade actually started doing it off season from football. Got my ass beat by everybody. And then the 2 years where I actually did good was 11th and 12th. I placed sixth in state twice. So placed, I mean, it's last, but hey, a place is a place. It is what it is. So then after that, like after high school, I like grappling. You go to some open mats, like, wrestling open mats, but I was still looking for something. I was like, oh, maybe I'll try MMA. So I tried MMA. I actually started at American Combat Club.
Okay.
Um, so with Mitch and Vinny, um, back like 2012 ish. So it was that's a rough gym. Not rough. They're a good group of guys, but they're like, I always say it this way: when you walk in there from where the gym that it was at, which was down like 50, when you walk in there, it was like a fighter's gym. It was open doors, tires hitting tires, doing circuits. You got like I remember there were one or two times like not bums, just randos walked in, and I would like just box like they would just let him in the ring and just like spar with him. Like it is what it is. But like you know, good group of guys. Sal's doing his thing now. He's
That's
competing a
right.
lot.
Yep. Yep.
Um, so there's a lot of crossover over there. Good group of people. But I wanted to do MMA. Things were petering out, and I felt like it was kind of slow. And me being young and dumb, I was like, oh well, I'm not getting my way, so I'm gonna go to a different gym. So I went over to ATT Winter Springs with John Sucio. Got my first fight. Lost. It was a good back and forth. My grappling wasn't good then, and then oh, let me take a second fight. I fought Austin Lane, got my shit rocked. So it was just being young and dumb, and then I was like, I think I took 2 years off, and I was like, I want to get back in there. So I was like, oh, let me focus more on jujitsu, and actually going back to American Combat Club. Before I even tried to fight or anything, Mitch was telling me, he's like, look, if you're gonna do MMA, you need to learn jujitsu. He's like, you need to put the gi on. So I did that. I didn't want to. I actually, per the lore, I hated gi because I was coming back from a pure wrestler standpoint. So I was like, I hated gi. I thought it was stupid. I was like, oh, this and that. So kind of
If it doesn't
after
hug my balls, I don't like it.
yeah, it was. I don't know. It just it was some. I really don't even know why to this day I hated it. Maybe it was just like, you know, I just hated it. I hated gi. IBJJF. People were like, oh, people were like, "Oh, you should do IBJJF." I was like, "The fuck is that?" Like IBJ, like it's stupid.
Yep.
So then I from there, the crossover from Winter Springs to Longwood ATT, they had their merger, this and that. So then I knew a couple people from Winter Springs that went over to Dylan's gym. So I was like, after my hiatus, I was like, oh, let me see where everybody's at. So I hit him up and I was like, hey, where are you training at? They're like, oh, I'm training over here with Dylan. And went over there, tried it out, like tried a class. I was like, okay, this is cool. And funny enough, I didn't know Derek at the time at Winter Springs came over one time for sparring, and he kicked me in the balls. And I like let loose on him. Like I tried to murder this dude. And like I walked in and he's like, hey, you don't remember me? I was like, no. He's like, yeah, you tried to kick my shit in one time. I was like, I don't remember. But then like it jogged my memory. I was like, oh, that's the dude that kicked in my balls. And I tried to wreck his shit.
My balls and I try to take your head off.
Yeah. So once I transitioned to Cogito, I guess I focused more because I was like, all right, let me take this for real. Let me take it serious. I don't know. I needed something to focus on. And you know how people say, oh, you couldn't cut an MMA, so you go do jiu-jitsu. I mean, it is what it is. I'm better. If I'm going to lie, I'm not going to lie. I'm better at jiu-jitsu than I'm at MMA. So why would I keep doing, MMA if I'm better at, you do what you're good at. So
do what you're good at.
I started focusing on that. I told Dylan and Derek my goals. And that was back in, when was that? And for reference, I'm bad with timelines.
Every club, we're men.
Because it's so linear to me, like the whole thing, like anything past like 2012, it's just all mashed together. Because it was like everything happened so quick. Because like you can look at your Instagram, like belt promotions. Look at your belt promotions. I feel like I just became a purple, and I'll look at the date and it's like, oh, 2021 or 2000. Like I don't know. I don't really keep count because I look back at when I got my blue belt and it was like a while ago, and I'm like, it just felt like I just got it.
I thought I got my purple belt 6 months ago. Little do I know, it's like a year and a half ago.
Exactly. And it goes like that. So I'm not very hooked on, oh, I did this in this time and that. Like it's very linear for me. And it's like, unless it's something very pivotal that happened, I don't know the date. Right. I don't, So after going to Cogito, I started taking competition within jiu-jitsu, especially gi, very serious. And here's the inverse of that. Once I started training gi and getting serious in it and, doing competitions, I put anything to do with like no gi or wrestling on the back burner. So then it went the inverse. It was like, oh, you're going to, like, I'd look at no gi comps and be like, that's fucking stupid. That's stupid. It's not like, So then I actually did another switch. And I think it was Derek that got me back into no-gi because he was teaching no-gi and he would be like, oh, let's do no-gi or whatever. And it'd be like, there's a no-gi class. So I started doing no-gi and I was like, okay, so this is like wrestling, so it's just wrestling, on your back. So long story short, I tried a couple comps. I started competing very like regularly, which is my goal, which as you know, I'm sidelined now. I try to compete whenever and how often I can. Like, I don't get to train very much. You're a dad. I don't know if you know Stan. Stan was, I was like, oh, you're a dad, you don't have time to train. He's like, dude, you got a family. Once you have a family, you have a job. It's like, there's some guys that only get in the gym like once a week, if they're lucky, or, this, that, and the other. So I say life is a cliche because I was young, being a young guy, not having a kid. I was, married. I'd be in the gym, morning class, and then like, oh, let me go to 3 classes a week, 4 classes a week, if homegirl let me. And then, then we had a kid, and then it was like, oh, I can go twice a week. I can go once a week. So then, looking at that now, I don't get to train as much as I want. As you know, when I was doing morning class, it was like once a week, the one morning I could. So even with that, even with me getting 1 day a week of training, if there's a comp that week, I'll be like, hey,
you're still taking it.
I'm taking it because like I use comps as my training because it's like, I've been talking to Felix. I have a 5-year goal. It's sidelined now. I have to extend. I have to push back and figure out what I'm gonna do. But I want to go as hard as I can for the next 5 years, comp wise. ADCC. Any super fights I can get, anything and everything I'm trying to do for the next 5 years. Because to be completely honest, as a lot of people know, I have two bad knees. I have a partial tear in my right knee, right meniscus. I have I have one herniated disc, two bulging. And if I'm being serious, I'm 30. Well, I'm 31, just turned 30 on October 20th. So I'm 31 now. And I just look at guys like jujitsu is an old man's game, but like if you're really going to compete, which is what I want to do, like at a middle to top level, like you can't, you gotta like be able to hold, your body has to hold up. And if I'm being honest with myself, which I haven't been in the past and I'm starting to be, I don't think after 35, maybe 36, like there's days where I can't get out of bed when I'm having like my back spasms. There's days where I'll have because I have tendonitis on both knees. So there's times where I'll be training good for a whole week, and then a Thursday comes up and I can't bend my knee. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not sore. And then, going through the day, and then, the soreness kicks in. And then the swelling kicks in. And then my wife's like, babe, you should go get your knee drained. I'm like, I mean, this happens like once every couple months, so
Yeah.
it's just a part of being honest with yourself. So I'm going to take the next couple years, a section of being like, hey, I'm going to go as hard as I can, compete every weekend if I can, or every other weekend, just compete. And then I'm going to burn myself out, if I'm being honest.
Hey, you know what though? There's a time and place for burning yourself out. So I'm in that phase. I think we're all in that phase right now. Like, we just started this competition chat, just trying to get everybody doing competitions and trying to like link up with all of us together so we can start making a name for ourselves, as in, like we're bringing a lot of competitors, and we're placing, and one thing I will say is, ever since I've not even just joined Cogito, known of Cogito, um I've never seen you lose in a competition. Because not for nothing, like are you're very kind to me. You're very kind to me until the lights turn on. Once the lights turn on, there's a different Micah that comes out. And sometimes I can't wrap my head. I don't have that kill switch. I don't have that switch that turns on and be like, I want to kill you now. But I've seen it. I've
So
seen it.
I have to tell you about that, and I could get my wife in here to attest, or you can ask anybody that I've had like an actual one-on-one comp with. That, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, I can't, like, if I go in, like, you've seen it, like my what was it, Jiu-Jitsu World League, right? You
Right.
can ask me, I didn't get I've beaten that guy before. That was my third match with him. All part of, like, I beat him 2 times, 3 times. So I was just like, I went out there, I was fucking around. I was like, hey, Felix, I'm a pull guard, just to see what his top game was. And I was like, all right, let me pull guard. So pull guard, whatever happened. Per that, to a better matchup where I don't know what I'm going up against. I don't know what it is. And I'm like, it's kill or be killed. And I hate mind you, I have ADD. I'm going to go off on a different tangent. I'm trying to keep me on track.
I got you.
Is the where the people are like, oh, it's not a fight, blah, blah, blah. It's like, bro, I've been in some matches where people try, and it's not the goal to try to hurt somebody, but like, if you got somebody in something, and not so much rip it, but it's like, I've had people in shit where they don't tap, and it's like, okay, like my toe hold. I've went throwing it really quick, but I'm not like pushing it. I'm like going slow, and the dude's not tapping. Then I just feel like a crack. I'm like, sorry, but so I can do that to them. They can do that to me. I've had matches where I'll take someone down, and it's a especially in gi, where it's a hard one-on-one like lapel battle. And once I get them, because I feel the pressure from them, they feel the pressure from me. If I win that battle and I take you down and I'm at your ear, I'm gonna say, you fucked up, right? Like, I've said that. I talk shit, and then my wife, she's like, I saw you talking shit. Why are you talking shit? So I can't, if I don't, like, if there isn't some kind of conflict there with me and the other person, not so
The
much that I
switch.
want, yeah, I can't, like, and I'm gonna do badly. If I get in a firefight, a dog fight, it's going to be a great match and I'm going to have fun. Win or lose, I'll be like, all right, cool. You know? So that's why that switch for me, that's why there's that switch. And I don't want to hurt my training partners. I love you guys and you guys make me better and vice versa. So it's like, I can't, and it's training. I'm not going to, unless we're in the training room, which I know you've seen, where it's all fun and games for someone else. And then when it's me, it's, oh, woe is me. And it's like, hold on, motherfucker. Hold on, motherfucker. Like, sorry if we can't curse, but that's what that switch is for me. And I don't, like, even with small people, like, they're like, oh, well, you're going to go hard. And it's like, I'm like, how much do you want me to weigh? And I'll be like, how much do you weigh? Oh, I'm 180. I'm like, well, I weigh at 182. And I'll just like flow with them. Like, that, that stigma of, oh, you're the big guy, whatever. But that's what you saying, that's what the switch is for me in competition. That's the difference, is because I know that, especially I want to compete ADCC. Those motherfuckers don't play around. They don't care. They don't care. You can look up any ADCC compilation. Look how many people have their knees torn out, has their ankles torn, their arms ripped. Shit. They go off the mat and they keep going. So it's like, for people, I'm not saying jiu-jitsu in itself is pussified, but you look at the any slam video on Instagram. Oh, he could have hurt himself. He could have blah blah blah. It's like, okay, but you signed up for that. You know what you're getting yourself into. He slammed you. You can slam him. Quit crying about it. Like, it's not. So that's where that switch for me is, because I know that, you go in there trying to be all nice. Oh, it's all nice. You get the wrong motherfucker. It's not all nice. So that's what that switch is for me.
I don't see the switch happen often, but not for nothing. Probably like a month and a half ago, I saw that switch happen. I don't know what happened, but I know it was a Sunday open mat. I know, and you're always happy-go-lucky. You're always like, hey, we're here to train. We're here to, and then all of a sudden, I see the eyes, and the eyes were telling me I'm pissed, and I'm looking, and I'm like, the fuck poked the bear?
Well, I think that's happened twice, and you can and once again, I have a horn. I'm not trying to toot it. I am that happy-go-lucky guy. I'm friends with it. I'm joking around. And the thing is, and I'm not trying to open up old wounds or anything, and other people be like, oh, they're higher belts, respect them. I mean, for me, like, same thing with, if it was for me, I wouldn't do gi. I would just do no gi. I do it for, and I always say this, for the culture, because for me, I've put in so much blood, sweat, and tears into jiu-jitsu and MMA. I encompass MMA, jiu-jitsu, all that in one. Combat sports, as I said. I've broken toes. I've broken a foot. I've been hit. I've had flashers, like floaters and all this shit. Like, I've put in so much, and that I'm not just gonna be like, oh, whatever. So long story short, I am that happy-go-lucky person when it comes to open mat, and lots of respect. But as I said, respect goes both ways, and it's always belts that start with B, where you could see them either bullying someone, or it's, like I said, it's all happy-go-lucky when it's, oh, heel hook time, or, oh, I'm gonna do this and that. So I've had a couple run-ins with people, and it's all gravy now. And if there is a problem, you can come see me. That's the way bro, that's another thing. And ADD is kicking in. It's like, you go to these tournaments, you go to these things, like, everybody's sizing you up. It's like, even the MMA fights, it's like, okay, MMA, but like, you're going to get your shot in, I'm going to take you down and do, like, everybody in this circle, we all can fuck each other up.
Right.
Stop trying you have nothing to prove. So, it was just, upper belt. It's like I said, it's cool. Oh, I took down the big guy, I did this to the big guy, but then when the big guy's doing something to you, or you're stalling the whole match, and then I just make a reference, hey, you don't win matches stalling, and then they want to mouth off, oh, you're bigger than me. It's like, correct me if I'm wrong. Jiu-jitsu is, and I know everybody says, oh, wait, this and that and the other. Well, then maybe you suck, but it's like, dude, jiu-jitsu is made for the smaller guy to win. Jason, I can go, and I will put 1,000. I will put my house up. I can go 100% with Jason. He will beat me 99.905, and that 05 is if he has the flu that I would tap him. I don't think I've ever tapped him. So I have a dude that's like 10 times smaller than me, but then you have these other guys that are, their upper belts are doing this, but it's like, then you get them in a bad spot, then it's an issue. Or, oh, tap. I was like, I didn't do anything. Like, it's just stuff like that. It's just like, it's a little brother picking on the big brother, and then the big brother does something. It's like, oh, mom, you do, like, come on, dude. Like,
No, I love it. I love it. I love
and
it.
no,
And not
and
for
no ill, and as I said, no ill will. It's just,
no
it
ill
is what it is.
will. It is what it is. I'm just saying, but it's there. It's a part of jujitsu. You know what I mean? Like we're definitely in a place where tensions get high at a specific point, and not for nothing. Sometimes what you say does trigger what kind of role you're gonna have. So if I go in friendly and you go in friendly, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be a good match. But once one friendly goes into one friendly, and one of those friendlies says, "I'm gonna fuck you up." Oh, you think you're gonna fuck me up? No, 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 no. Let's turn it up a notch, And
Mhm.
so it is another side of jujitsu where I'm not gonna say it's ego, but it's don't talk shit because just like you said, we can all fuck each other up at the end of the day. And I think for me, jujitsu is a part of like when we go like we're purple belts. When we go against other purple belts, like we're on the same level. It's whoever's good on that day is gonna win the match. Sometimes you just don't have it. Sometimes you don't have it, and then you get lucky and you get the dub. Sometimes you're just on one. You're just him. It's just everything fucking clicks. So no, that makes total sense. It
And
really
it,
does.
with any disclaimer, as you know, like not with, oh, he tries to pick fights at open. I don't, and that rarely happens because I know whenever it happens, you hit me like, what the fuck happened? Because
Yeah,
everything's cool until,
yeah.
and bro, it takes a lot. Minus the comp switch. As I said, like for instance, I had a match, the last Laleo code I did, match was going good. Dude was, props to him, match was good. It was Nogi. We were standing up. And I think I got him in a bad spot, and he was legit. He grabbed my shorts, and then homeboy was like, "Hey, don't grab the shorts." Got him in another bad spot. He grabbed my shorts. So then, okay, so I toss this motherfucker, and as I take him down, he hits the floor. I make sure I put the most into it, and as I take him down, I'm twisting this shit. I'm like, "Don't grab my motherfucking shorts." Like, very simple. Like, it takes a lot for me. So same thing. Like, open mat, it's good when it's good. 90% of the time it's good. But that goes back to the whole thing of, oh, I'm a bigger guy. Dude, I get heel hooked by smaller guys. I hate that excuse of, oh, you're the bigger guy. That's another thing that comes down to, oh, most of all those things that we're talking about, those open mat things where, that happen, it always, well, you're bigger than me. Okay. I've, okay. So go to ADCC, go do
Yeah.
absolute. Oh, you're not? Okay, then what do you like? It's just it's a thing that
Don't
I'm tired
roll.
of hearing.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, then
Don't
don't
roll.
roll. Then
Don't
don't
roll.
roll. Yeah.
If you don't want the smoke, then don't roll. I'm bigger. Yes. So the fuck what? If you're gonna roll with me, roll with me. Like at the end of the day, we're not trying to murder people. Like like even even when we get ready for competition, I still have yet to see like murder in someone's eyes where it's like I'm going for blood. But we do have some outsiders that come into our open mats and they have something to prove, and they come in there and they're freaking, they're freaking ripping shit, and they're trying to, they're going 110% when the other guy was starting at 30.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. And then you'll the other one I love is, oh, don't go for, because I'm known for a couple moves, which is the toe hold, right? Especially against leg lockers. So homeboys, oh, don't go for a toe hold because my ankle's messed up. Okay. And then
Are both messed up?
yeah, and then I'll go for, oh, it said don't go for it, and then it's like, this is your other leg guy. Like, it's just things like that, man. Like, I don't know, but hey, it's a part of the game. It is what it is. I try to stay level headed, and then too is like the whole ducking me, like that's a big
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
there's dudes that swear. Here's the thing too, and that goes along with the same thing. It's like dudes swear they're so good, and oh, I do this and that. It's like, but you're ducking me. And I'm fat. I'm 10. I guarantee you, I'm 10 more times tired than you. And I call it burn the tank. I burn the tank. If I'm, and because I want to know how it feels to, hey, go through a round when you don't have anything left. I'll even call it out. I'll be like, who wants a rest round? I'm your rest round. But they're still ducking me. And it's like, oh, I do heel hooks. I do this. Oh, I do leg locks. But you're sitting out and I'm looking at, I've looked you in the fucking eyes and you're ducking me. So That's yeah. It's annoying. And I'm not
It's
saying I'm
annoying.
the best. I'm not the
No,
best.
no,
But I'm just
no,
saying,
no,
like,
no.
I hate when people claim that they're this, that, and the other, and then when it comes time to put your nuts, let your nuts hang, they're not hanging.
Listen, I will say, Mike, you know, if I was someone else, okay, and I'm at this open mat, I'm not gonna fucking roll with you. You are a huge motherfucker. You are tall, strong, and you have some girth. So, uh, it would be scary to the normal person. But me, on the other hand, I need that shit because everybody in my division is your fucking size. So I need, that's what I would probably say to the audience who actually watch our podcast. Like at the end of the day, Micah outweighs me. He's taller than me, and I think he's stronger than me. But I still have to get those rounds. You shut up. I still have to get those rounds because at the end of the day, most likely my opponents are going to be as big and strong as Micah. So I need to get used to the shit and shut the fuck up and stop crying about it. If you're going to get your ass whipped, get your ass whipped. The training room is where we get our ass whipped. So we don't get our ass whipped outside of the training room at the end of the fucking day. Go ahead, say your bullshit. Go ahead.
So I missed an important part, which is when we met. When we met, bro.
What happened? What I do now?
Bro. So I think we met at, was it at the OG Cogito spot or was it at
OG
Ace?
Cogito spot.
Bro, so that I think that's when you were still in New York and
Yep.
you were going back and forth. I
Yep.
remember, I think it was like, everybody gets there and I'm like, who's this big motherfucker? Who's this guy? Yo, I was like, oh
Oh,
shit,
new
because
fresh meat.
yeah, exactly. And I was like, oh, I'm a roll this motherfucker up, right? Bro, when I first of all, let me say it, I'm so lucky to have you as a training partner. Bro, I am so lucky to have you because I'm gonna say, oh, for the people that don't know, they already know who the fuck you are, bro. I have never met a dude your size that is as flexible, that does leg shit, that does what 10. I always joke around, oh, you do well, you're 10 Ps. It was like, oh, you do that, you do 10 P shit as a guy that's a big guy. I'm like, bro, what the like? I don't think I can. I'm sure there's people, but like, I've never seen when I rose it. You put me in like a hill hook or something. Like, I was just like, bro, who is this guy? And I think I forgot who I asked, but they're like, oh, that guy. Because I was asking around. I think I asked Matt. I was like, what's the big guy's name that rolled? He's like, oh, Carlos. I was like, oh, Carlos. So I was like, all right. So now I was like, oh, next time at Open Mat, I'm gonna see you. And I think you left. So the next week I was like, oh, where is he? And he's like, oh, he travels back and forth. And then I think I saw you at Ace was the last time. And then I think we got to know each other a little bit more. And like every time I rolled with you, I was like, "Don't heel hook me, don't heel hook me." You were always going for some like crazy and I didn't know how to stop it, bro. Like you would tap me a lot, like a lot, because I wasn't. I've never seen that before, and I was like, bro. And I think, bro, my mind was blown, and you've really helped my game, and I really appreciate it.
And I have to tell you that it fucking helped because now I could barely get you now, and now you're getting me
You
now.
think I'm being nice to you, but I'm not. When you do certain heel hooks, like because you'll do the leg entanglements, like the ashi shit, like you get like when I'm sitting there, like there's only so much I can do. So you do get me. Like it's not like, oh yeah, I'm bigger than you, but like you get me a lot of the time. So because if everybody wants to know, if you want to know how to beat me, just go for anything that has to do legs. Like if I'm on the ground, if I'm on the ground sitting, as long as I'm not standing, because you leg locker motherfuckers will never get me standing, because I'll just spin around and throw a
A
you know,
toehold.
yeah, toe hold, or I'll just pass your guard. But if I'm sitting and you're on top and you sit and go into ashi and do all that weird truck shit and all that, like you got me. I don't know what to do, which is probably I should work on that defense. Um, but no,
So
yeah.
yeah, no. So I remember like not for nothing like I actually right before Jiu-Jitsu World League, right? So we that Friday right before comp we take that wrestling class, right? With Tevin, right? So we take the Tevin wrestling class. He teaches a few things. So We slap and bump, and it's like, hey, it's competition time. We're doing it tomorrow. I need to cut weight. I don't know if you needed to cut weight, probably not. Um, but we were like, hey, we gotta go. And you hit, and I swear to everything I love, you hit the fastest um oh, arm
Oh
drag.
yeah,
You hit
no,
the
the duck. It was the. I
the
think it was
duck
the duck.
under.
It was
Yeah, it
yeah,
was
yeah. It
duck
was
under. It
duck
was a
under.
duck under. It was the fastest duck under that anyone has ever pulled on me. And a guy your size, you're out height me pretty. You're like what, 6'2"?
6'1", probably 6 foot or 6'1".
I'm gonna say 6'1" in my eyes. In my eyes, you're 6'1". I'm 5'7". Okay, you ducked under like me, so which means your level change was like half a foot. You know what I mean? Half of a foot. More like it was just crazy the dynamic. And then you literally disappeared. And then you were on my back. And I was like, what the fuck? And then in my head, like no bullshit, during this whole moment, I'm like, I would hate to be in this motherfucker's division, yo. Because what the fuck? And not for nothing, that was the first time you hit me with the smother choke. Oh, the smother. I couldn't. I couldn't. I was literally locked up, and I was like, "Yo, I never tapped to this before." But the me fighting to get you off, and then you were perfect placement with everything. I was like, "Yo, I'm literally locked up. I'm Let's restart this shit because you know what? Now I know I ain't gonna let you get there anymore." And
Yeah,
not for
and
nothing.
you sat on top for the rest of the. You
You're
controlled top for
damn
the rest of it.
fucking right, because I can't allow you to, or if you do sweep me over, I'm trying to get my ass up, or now I'm gonna be a ball. Now it's like now you have to fight the ball. You're not gonna get that little inch that you need to flatten me out. I can't let you flatten me out, because I know that it's checkmate. If Micah flattens me out, it's gonna be a checkmate. So I need to get that underhook, and I need to keep moving.
Hmm. See, not for nothing. When I do that, and that's what you have a really good turtle guard too. Like I think there's a couple times where I'll like get you down or something, and then you'll go. I can't get through your turtle, and then you'll do a roll, and you'll go roll into guard, and then it's game over because then you'll go for legs. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
bro, like I said, you've changed my game. The way I look at it as a bit for me, because I my excuse maybe for the last 2 years or so, I'm always like, oh, I can't do this because I'm too big. Like we'll always do like, which is I would say a big advancement in my actual like technique game, which I don't have much, but like armbar, like the very basic technical stuff, I always had the excuse, oh, I'm too big, I can't do it. But seeing you do stuff like you don't ever like it's probably because you're just good at it, but like I never see you like, oh, I'm too big, I can't do this. Like you're doing like so I try to stop after taking you as an example and be like, oh, I can't do. I just try it now. Like I don't be like, oh, I'm too big, I can't try it. I'll try it, and if I can't do it after like a couple times, I'm like yeah, I can't do it. But like it used to be off rip. Oh, we're doing this. I'll be like, oh, I'll ask Dylan. Oh, is there an alternate? Like, is there an alternative
Alternate.
to it?
Yep.
Like, but now I try my best just to do the move outright because like if you can do this half the shit you do, I have no excuse. Like, you know?
No, and you know what? That makes me feel good because at the end of the day, because like one thing I do hear a lot, and especially lower belts, I can't. And
Mm.
it's like, hold on, we need to change that just a little bit because you might say you can't. Let's change it to I can't do it right now, or I need to do it a different way to get the same results. For instance, right? Dylan was teaching. I went to a gi class and we were doing something with the lapel. My grips are crap. I can't hold the grip. My all my fingers and knuckles are hurt, and I think I have problems with my hands. So I couldn't get it, or I can't finish a cross choke because my hands can't hold the lapel. So I went to Dylan. I'm like, Dylan, it's not that I really can't because I can't hold this grip, but what can I do as an alternative? And he was like, all right, so let's do this. Put your right elbow a little higher and then change instead of going this grip, try this grip. And like, so it's your weight pulling it down. So I said, okay, let's give that a shot. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Like, that's the alternative. It's not that I can't do it, because technically, if I wasn't hurt, I could do it, but I needed to. tweak it a little bit. So I do see a lot of the lower belts with the I can't mentality. You can. It just takes work to get there. And that's what drilling is for. You know, I used to say I can't do triangles. Well, guess what? I lost fucking 57 pounds and now I'm triangling everybody. And it's fucking ridiculous. Like now it's like, yo, I'm legitly becoming a good triangler. You know, like I'm putting people in really bad spots and I fucking love it. Love it.
Hmm.
It's my shit. It's my shit. Yo, mounted triangle dog, like it's becoming bread and butter.
I mean, dude, I think I've been mounted triangled a couple times, and I think that's the worst out of all the triangles. Like a regular triangle, at least you could fight out of. Mounted triangle, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't go anywhere.
I try not to fall over, you know. I try to like stay on top and just have the weight like drop on. But you know, sometimes it's like, yeah, I need that angle. I'm gonna have to drop off this a little bit, you know. Shout outs to Felix because not for nothing, it wouldn't be good without that man's defense. Because that guy, he's the longest mounted triangle that I had that never tapped. Like I
How
think I got
far?
him once, and I probably put him in it 5, 6 times. He
Oh,
only
dude.
tapped once. You know, he just knows how to where to put whatever. You know, like he's just that good.
Rolling with Felix is scary in the fact that the stuff that should tap him
Doesn't.
he doesn't and I don't think it's I'm not going to tap. It's just something about him, like my fist choke. I've
Yeah.
had that. He plays that top, like whenever he gets top, like he puts that pressure on you, so he leaves his neck open. So I'm like, all right, let me just slip it in, right, all the way there, all the way around, and I'm like squeezing, and I'm like, okay, all right, he's gonna tap soon. Move over a little bit. Oh, he's gonna tap soon. And like, I'm like, Felix, like, and then I kind of let off because I'm like, I don't want to hurt him because I'm like going. I'm like, are you good? He's like, yeah, man, you're good. You can keep going. Like, damn, if this was anybody else, they would have either been out or tapped. I'm just like, so
Yeah.
some stuff I
Yeah.
don't even like go
You
for it
can't
on him.
try
So I'm like,
anymore.
it doesn't work. So I'm
Like
like, all
arm
right,
triangle. Arm triangle. He has a great arm triangle defense, but I did work on something. Okay. So I hope you're hearing this, Felix. I have a different thing to do in the arm triangle that I think is gonna tap him. But we're gonna have to try it out though. We're gonna have to try it
keep
out and
it under
see.
wraps. Keep it under wraps.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not gonna reveal it right now. I'm gonna reveal it when we roll. I'm gonna get him there and then I'm gonna be like, let's see you hold this. And if he does, I'm never trying it ever again. Because there's just no reason. There's just absolutely no reason. But Micah, I made this podcast for specific reasons with competitive jiu-jitsu, and one of those is the highs and lows of jiu-jitsu. So far in your jiu-jitsu career, what is your high moment? And it could be anything you think is your high moment.
My high moment, like anything, I would say joining jujitsu or Kojito. Like this is
Oh,
so, and not any shade at any old coaches or
right,
anything.
right, right.
And I've said this is known. Out of all, I would say out of all the gyms that I've been with, this is the first gym. I don't know what it is. Hey man, it might be magic. This is the first gym. It feels like family. Like the core group of guys, um, like the core group. It's like that's like family to me. It's like no judgment. You could, bro. It's family, and it's like, and that's big because like how it is. Like, and as I said, the core group of guys. I don't want to politic and whatever. Like, there's people that have been at the gym for maybe a year, and I still don't know their name because, like, I've seen people come and go. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
people get to a certain belt rank and they're gone, and it's like, and they'll just quit jujitsu. And it's like, bro, the fuck, and like people come and go, people switch gyms, like, and the whole philosophy of like, it's not nothing personal. You need to go where you need to train. So if someone leaves, whatever. But it's like I feel like, um, you know, seeing people come and go it's a part of it. You have the trial guys, you got people that are there for a couple months and then leave. It's just like if you have a majority core group of guys you've been with, it is what it like. It that's family to me, and I can say, maybe I've been on the other end because obviously I've been in a couple other gyms, but I would just say this is the first one that feels like family. Like I could ask Dylan anything. I could ask, even though, I could hit up Derek. I mean, he's not coaching, but you know what I mean? Like I could hit anybody that's affiliated, that's, been there, is like family. And it's like, that's big for me because it's like, I've been to a couple other, especially when I first started trying to get into MMA or jiu-jitsu, however you want to, everybody's been there. The whole, the cliche of, I'm looking up gyms. I'm going to call what time's class, and can I drop in? It's like, I've been to gyms where it's the first thing they say is, well, hey, it's this much it's this much, or we're you can only wear this, or there's other gyms where it's like they're like, we'll set you up on a payment plan, and all gyms all around Orlando, and it's like it wasn't like it's like, hey, you just go in, hey, let me get you started on a trial, and then if you like it, you don't like it. Like Dylan's a great coach, changed my game, kind of made me take it serious because he's the first person that asked me, he's like, hey, what are your goals? What do you want to do? What are your goals for jiu-jitsu? None of my other coaches really told me this. Like, hey, well, I want to do MMA. But you can do MMA, this and that, or it says he's very personable, and he cares as a coach, I would say. And same with Felix. Like Felix, he's like, hey, I want to make sure you're good. What are your goals? What do you want to do? And just me personally, from other gyms I've been at, no other gym has really done that for me of, what do you want to accomplish? Let me try to help you do that. It was more like, we're going to do this and this. All right, cool. You're there. All right. Oh, let's, like I said, not throwing shade. I love every gym I've been a part of, but I'm just saying the family aspect of it. Cogito is the first gym that I've been a part of that feels like family.
Well said. No, that's super well said, because I kind of had that realization too in general. Like when I started 10th Planet in California, Orange County, right? So I was overweight. My boy, God rest his soul, was like, "Hey, you were looking good when you were doing jiu-jitsu. You left jiu-jitsu. Look at how fat you are. You need to get back. I don't care which gym you go into. Just go into a jiu-jitsu gym." And it just so happened 10 minutes down the road was a 10th Planet, Orange County, Orange. And I walked in there. I did one trial. I was in Cali for about a year and a half, and that year and a half of being away from my family, I was locked in to jiu-jitsu. And ever since that, I was always chasing gyms that had the same mentality, the same family, the same because the way that they were over there is everybody was so like family orientated in general, but they were all killers. But they always wanted to see you do better. Like there was times where I got caught in the same submission 3 times, and they were like, "Okay, well, if you did this and this and this, it's over. Now I don't get caught in it no more." And so then after that, then I went to Miami, and then I went to 2, 3 different gyms, but there was one that stuck out in Miami, and that was Daniel Perez, which is Damian Maya's first black American black belt, is Daniel Perez. Shout outs to Daniel. And I was like, that's the mentality. That's the feel of a gym. That's what I'm looking for. And then I go, back home to New York. And then I was like, man, like I don't want to go to Marcelo's and pay $350 a month. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to go, But then 10th Planet New York City opens up, and it was like, oh, brand new spot, and it's a 10th Planet. I'm in there. And then so I was always looking. So then I come to Florida, right? And then I'm like, okay, I'm in Orlando. I need I started out in Orlando BJJ. I didn't like the feel. It was far. Just didn't like the feel. Then I went to now Armada. I did the Fabines. That was cool. That one was cool. Like it was a cool vibe, but I'm more of a no-gi guy, and they weren't really playing legs. So I knew my leg game was gonna diminish if I stood there. So I was like, I can't do that one either. Finally found Cogito, but then y'all closed.
Oh yeah, the garage. Did you ever make it to the garage sessions?
I was never invited. I was
Oh,
never
dang.
invited. right? Because I don't. Well, Derek, I didn't really know Derek. I literally saw Derek maybe 3 times the whole time, but when the open mats were happening and I was flying back and forth. So I didn't have a rapport with Derek to even be invited to those sessions. Um, but then y'all closed down. So then I had to go to Dark Wolf when I moved up to DeBerry. And Dark Wolf was cool. I don't really have any bad things to really say about Dark Wolf. Just that, like at the time, it was just a lot of their fighters are MMA fighters, so their MMA class was stacked, but the jiu-jitsu class wasn't as stacked. It was just basically me and Cedric. Yeah, me and Cedric. Like that was the whole class.
But
Like
they're like more of an MMA school though,
they're
right?
more of an MMA school,
Yeah.
They have great jiu-jitsu. I'm not saying anything, just in case anybody from Dark Wolf listens
Yeah,
to
yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying anything about your school. I think your school is awesome, but it's more of an MMA and wrestling gym, and the jiu-jitsu, at the time I was there, it wasn't as stacked as I'm used to. And then Kojita opens back up. And then I was like, that's it. Like that was what I was waiting for. I wanted to join Cogito before. I didn't have the opportunity. Now I do. I'm going. You know, and it was the best decision I make, and now I'm teaching. Like a lot of people don't understand, like I have a teaching background. Like I taught when I was on the road as a consultant. I was a teacher. I was an instructor for electronic medical records. So I teach adults. And that was always my goal. Like I wanted to teach something that I loved. I love jujitsu. So it's like it's just a match made in heaven. And I got that opportunity here at Cogito, and it feels great. Like, and now I'm looking at my little young Padawans, growing up.
Are
One
you
of them
choking
is
now?
huh?
Are you choking?
No,
Nah.
no, no, no. But I could.
No, I feel
If I was a little softer, I could. Like now I have, you know what? I can say I have my first white belt going for their blue. I
you.
can say that, and that makes me feel good because it's like, man, this kid put in the work. He doesn't miss any of my classes. He looks forward to the classes, and everything that I give him, he picks it up and he runs with it. So it's like, yo, that's the best feeling in the world, and not everybody can teach. It's sometimes it's in the blood and sometimes it's not.
Who
You
are
know.
you telling?
Oh, yeah. No, you've never taught before. There's a difference.
No, but still, it's like
There's a no, no, no. There's a difference. There's a difference between never teaching and you don't know how to teach. There's a totally different. It's different when you've never done it before and you get thrown in the pot. It's
but
never
I don't
gonna
know how
go
to
good.
do it. I also don't know how to do it though.
Right. So it's a recipe for disaster. But there's tips and there's tricks. So you have to learn how to teach. And that's all it is. That's really all it is to it. You know what I mean? And like I said, we're gonna link up and then we're gonna go through all of that. And I promise you, all I need is an hour of your time, and I will be able to get you to a point where you have your own curriculum. That
Hmm.
simple. That simple.
So I
It's
think
not.
you're a great coach. I've
Thank
said
you.
like you've helped my game 100%.
You're a fucking monster, so I don't want to hear nothing. So that was your high of jujitsu. What's your low in jujitsu?
Right now,
I knew you were gonna say that.
I
I
no,
knew you
no,
were gonna say that.
only because it. So, and I'm not gonna get TMI, but so my goal to start like Felix. I was talking to Felix. I was like, hey, here's my goal. I went over my 5-year plan, right? So I told him I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And then my wife had surgery, and then that direct because I was going to do trials. I was going to
Right.
plan on doing ADCC trials, as a gauge see where I stack up, and then reassess and reassess find where I'm at. So, and then my goal right now was and still is competing at ADCC for the trial, like to do the trials. If I lose East Coast, I'll go do West Coast. Um, so that got derailed because she already said yes. I already had everything. I was gonna pay for it, and then something happened. She had surgery, and then she's like, couldn't afford it, and then had to put that on the back burner. And then um, the Orlando Open came up, and it was like, all right, shit, I'm gonna sign up. I already got my ticket. I think that morning when they opened up registration, I'm pretty sure I was the only one in my division. I was, signed up right when they posted it. Woke up, signed up, and then Jiu Jitsu World League happened, and it was like broke my foot. And another reason why it right now I would say it's my lowest is just being off the mats. And if I'm being completely honest, I've been, and this isn't like, oh, I'm depressed. Like I'm pretty, like the first week when it happened, like the first 2 weeks, I'm pretty sure I was depressed. Um, like I was mad, pissed off. Um, you know, just everything that could go wrong was going wrong. It felt like, because like for me, jujitsu is, and I'm sure for how jujitsu is. I don't do anything other than jujitsu. I work and then I do jujitsu. There's no in between. Like if I'm not doing that, like it's one or the other. So it's like work or jujitsu. Jujitsu is my life, and it's like if I'm not doing that, like time off the mats, like if I'm being completely honest, like I'll get off work. I get off work, spend time with the family, and then I'll just play Xbox until like 12. And it's like, all right. And also, not for nothing, I lost a lot of weight. I was working out every day because I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna put everything I can for trials. Like I was gonna get fit. I was trying to get down, and then broke my foot. Now I gained a bunch of weight now. So now I'm starting back at square one when I think I get my boot off in 5 weeks, so close to December about. So yeah, it's just been hard because you set goals. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do it, and I was really working hard trying to get to where I want to be, and then it's like the roadblock comes up, and it's like, oh no, life says otherwise. So it's like, you know, and then not being able to train, like watching every Sunday, watching the pictures. I'm like, damn, I could be like, at open mat, or I'd be there on Sunday, and I know some people are like, oh, well, you could go stop by the gym and sit in a class because that would kill me.
It
I
hurts.
don't want
Yeah,
to do
no, it hurts.
I
People
don't
don't
want to do
understand.
that.
Sometimes it hurt. Like if you're, it's different if you're a note taker, right? Because there's some people who will go to take notes on what's being done and make their notes on how to do it. So when they are healed, they're not behind. I completely get that. But
Mm-hmm.
those, like, I guess me and you are kind of on the same page. If I can't be on the mats and I'm there watching, like
There's no
it's
point.
like I want to cry. I want to sit there because it's like, yeah, I want to go on the freaking mats, man. You
Shit,
know?
I would, and then like the week before, like when I said I was happy that Ben wasn't there, because Ben likes to take pictures and whatnot. And if I took my boot off and homegirl saw, like we got in like arguments that I took, because like the healing, it's still healing, but it doesn't hurt. It like I can walk on it. I actually got the okay to, like, when I'm around the house I can take my boot off, but if I'm walking long term I need to have it on. But the doctor was like, all right, or whatever. Like I would take it off just to go like walk in the kitchen. She'd be like, why is your boot on? Put your fucking boot on. It's not gonna heal. And I'm like, calm down. It's not your foot. Like, but it's just, yeah. Um, if it's not all or nothing, I don't want to do it. And like, if he would have taken a picture and she saw it when I got home, or when he posted it, she'd trust me. She'd be like, "Oh, I saw the pictures. You don't have your boot on."
Yep.
It's like, fuck, man. Like, just
Don't
like,
play. Listen, don't
yeah.
play with the wife. Don't play with the wife. Listen, I know. Don't
And
play with
she's
the
a sweet.
wife.
I'm not trying to give her a bad. Like, she
No,
she
no.
cares. She cares about
My
me.
wife would do the same thing if I'm hurt. Like if I broke my arm and I have a cast and I say, "Hey babe, I'm going to go do jiu-jitsu." She's going to be like, "Don't you fucking dare go to jiu-jitsu. You have a broken arm. What's wrong with you? You're going to hurt it more." So, I guess it's just the mama instincts, It's the
Yeah.
mama instinct. I get it. We're family men. I get it. I get it, dog. Don't it ain't even. But yeah, no, I get it. And not for nothing, especially like the goals. So one of my goals was to win the belt for a new breed or a naga. Like that was my goal. I wanted to win that belt, and I didn't win it. And at first I was really bummed, right? I was like super bummed, and I'm like, damn, like that was my opportunity. I only had two people in my division, and um I just felt like this was my time, but didn't go my way. But then again, like, I'm gonna say maybe on the drive home, I was like, even though I had it and I feel like I could have won both of those matches, I didn't get subbed. and I put on a pretty good performance. Like,
Hmm.
I was in those matches. It wasn't like I was dominated. I didn't lose 4-0. I didn't lose 6-0. I didn't lose 10-2. I know I lost by one as an advantage and one by 2 points. You
Wasn't
know,
there one that was contested too? Like you should have got points for something that you didn't get points.
yeah, that's the second one. I should have had a silver on that one, but it's okay. Like, in my head, I'm like, you know what? Bronze and silver is the same shit to me. If you ain't first, you last. You know. Uh, so it's like, it is what it is. Like, I didn't get the dub. I got two losses. So basically, I drove almost 2 hours and paid $120 to basically lose both of my matches. I was totally bummed, but it was good matches, and not for nothing, my confidence built up too, because it was like the second guy couldn't deal with me, and the first guy kind of stalled out at the very end, like he didn't want to give up those points, and I completely get it. It's part of the game, but I almost made it up in literally two movements, so it is what it is. Like,
And you
it
had a
was
good
fun.
SGS match too.
SGS. Oh, submission grappling series. Yeah, that one went better than expected. This guy, he was definitely 6'3", 6'4", 200 and something pounds. And I knew he was a leg locker, so I was worried. I was 100% worried. I'm like, damn, like maybe I bit off more than I can chew. And he's 23 years old. I'm almost 40. You know what I mean? Like, so in my head, I'm like, maybe I'm chewing a little bit too much food at this moment. I maybe I should have took a step back. But after the nervousness, after we said go, after the first few exchanges and how I felt, I was like, why am I worried? I grapple against Matt. I grapple against Jason. I grapple against Sean. I grapple against Micah. I grapple against. There's no way someone is gonna dominate me more if we're on the same belt level than these beasts. Impossible. And then my confidence got good, better, better. And during that match, I felt like I was like, oh, whatever I wanted to do, I was gonna do it. Whatever I wanted to get out of, I was gonna get out of it. And it was a great match. It was a great
And
match. One
I
of,
mean, it was an OT match too. So, like you
yeah,
said, you didn't get subbed.
did it get subbed? Then I guess up. He threw up a few submissions. I threw up a few submissions. I went for Nogi Ezekiel. And then I was gonna try to go for the last heel hook at the very end. So it's like, you know what? Like, it was a good performance, and not for nothing. Jada, she's never really seen me roll other than like maybe open mats or whatever, but she's rolling herself, so she's not really looking like at my game. So I don't think she knew what my game was, or if I was gonna be a good roll in general. And after the match, she was like, "Yo, that was really fucking good. Like, that was a match and a half." And I was like, "All right, cool." You know what I mean? Like, I did my part.
Gonna see you again.
Oh yeah, if she invites me, I'm back. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. It is what it is. Like, I'm right now I'm in competition mode. Like, I wish I could have did this ADCC, but it's sold out for Saturday. So it's like, it sucked, but it is what it is, bro. Like, well, what can you do? You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. But we have Jiu-Jitsu World League Worlds in December.
And not Naga, fucking New Breed, right? New Breed Worlds is.
Is
Did
that coming up?
someone posted New Breed Worlds that they're. I don't know when, but I know they posted it. Someone posted it.
Maybe, maybe, maybe. We'll see. I gotta lose a little bit more weight. I want to try to get down to, I think it's 205. 204.5, or is 198. If I can get to that division, then I know they'll get a little shorter.
Because I remember, I think when we first met, or after a couple of times, I was like, dude, why don't you compete? Why don't you compete? You were like, nah, man. Because I think at the time you were a little bit heavy. You were like, dude, if I would compete, the guys that you'd be going up against were like some pretty big guys. So,
I call them Captain Americas. Everybody looked like Captain America. They were freaking 6'3", and I'm talking about roided to the gills, like their fucking traps had veins. And it's like, what am I doing? Like, obviously these guys are in top peak physical condition, and I'm here a freaking round butterball trying to do my jiu-jitsu techniques. You know what I mean? Like it just it's not a good mix. I'm not in top of my game. But now that I've lost this weight, now I'm starting to hit more submissions. Now I'm able to move faster and get to specific places faster. My game has changed just a little bit. I still play my same game, but it's more effective now. And it's like, okay, cool. Now that it's more effective, now my confidence is all right. Now I can test myself versus the best purple belts. Because I think also what gets in your head, especially in training environments, is you know, most of the time I'm going against the higher belts. And sometimes you fail to realize, hey, you're a purple belt. So you're going against someone your own rank, not brown and black belts. So stop being so worried. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
and that's what I had to get on my stop being worried all the time. You're not going against a black belt. Because not for nothing, that first grappling industries, and then I get to go against Brian Brown, black belt from 10th Planet Jacksonville. Like that was like a rude awakening. Like, hey, you're not a black belt, so you're supposed to lose this match, but be respectable. Have a respectable match, and I did.
And
I
it
had
also
a
shows you where you're at too, like against it, like, and it's because you're big. No, no, whatever. But actually, my very first time doing a gi competition, I actually almost beat a brown belt. Almost beat him, but I didn't. Almost isn't beating him, but almost did. And like I think I forgot what it was so long ago, but I did some. I took him down. I did something, and but mind you, this is before I knew any jujitsu. So I just like I got a takedown and held him down, and like I don't even know what I did, but he got up. He ended up. I think he put me in an armbar triangle. I didn't know any jujitsu, but he's like, "Hell, man, you really got me." I was like, oh shit. And I didn't even know anything about like belts or anything. It's just like, and then later on, homeboy's like, yo, he's a brown belt. Because I think it was Nogi, and then he ended up going to put on his belt to do it, and it's like, you almost beat a brown belt. So like, if I knew submissions back then, I could have beat him, but I dominated him majority of the match, and then he got me in like a triangle or armbar, like last minute. So, I mean, yes, belts matter, but like I said, like you doing that match against a black belt, you can gauge where you're at. Maybe like you're not a black belt or a brown belt, but like you can. I'm sure there's you can beat a couple of them. Maybe not him, but there's some you can
right,
hang with.
right,
So
right.
it is what it is. And like I said, that's a good gauge of which I think people. If there was ever a super fight and they like it was a black belt or brown belt, and they're just like, oh, we need some. I would do it just to say, hey, I mean, just to gauge where I'm at. And if I beat him, cool. I mean, I've beaten one black belt in my life, but like I would love to take those opportunities to do that. Like that's why I think it's cool that you did that. Like you could have said, "Oh shit, I'm not gonna do it." No, you did it. You saw where you're at. It's a gauge. I like to call it a gauge. And
Yeah. No,
sometimes you
I
can,
like it.
yeah, sometimes you can get past that gauge and beat them. And I think it's a nice feather in your cap. You know.
You know, to be honest with you, so after the submission grappling series, it was over. Keith went against Jay Enoch, and Jason was reffing both of our matches, of course. And finally see Jason after he gets out of the ring because it's constant. So he was stuck in the ring refereeing, and then after the whole thing, he comes to me. He goes, "Yeah, I was trying so hard not to tell you what to do, because he's so used to coaching me. He's so used to coaching me." But at the end, he was like, "Bro, you should be fucking proud of yourself. You killed it, and you were in there, and you could have won that match, and you had a few opportunities, and this and this." And then he said something that really resonated with me. He said, "Now you're with us now. That's it. Like now you're going to be a competitor now because you have it in you. What you showed today shows that you have competitive jiu-jitsu in your blood. So now it's back to the drawing board. We're gonna get our shit together, and we're all gonna go out and we're gonna fucking wreck." And I was like, okay, like if Jason Vaya is saying that to me, if Matt Ferriola is saying that to me, if Dylan is saying that to me, why am I gonna argue
Don't
with it?
question it.
You can't question
Don't
it.
question
You know
it.
what I mean? You can't question it. So I'm on the competition mode right now. It's just every fucking competition costs so much fucking money, bro. Like,
That's why you do super fights. I stop. I
yeah,
try not to pay for tournaments because I think like especially me and you, I'm sure being bigger guys that you pay $70-$80 to go against another guy, just one guy in your turn in your bracket, which is, I think the move is to go lower in weight, try to lose weight because the lesser weight you are, the more guys you are in your bracket. But that's a tough thing about doing tournaments is because it's like, you travel, you pay, and then it's like I think other than the last Jiu-Jitsu World League, the other two tournaments I've done recently have just been one guy in my bracket. I mean, at that point, what you're paying to have a super fight, like, I try to, if there are super fights or tournaments that are, a small entry fee, I'll try to do it. But like the big ones, I try to steer clear of just because it's 9 times out of 10, it's just me, you, and one other person.
Yeah. No, I think the super fights is probably where I'm gonna be more involved, but I still have the goal to win a new breed or Naga belt. Like I want a belt to hang up on my shelf with my accomplishments. I want a belt there just to say, hey, you know what? For that day in that local tournament, you were the best blank. Like at the end of the day, whatever rank it is. So, you know, Oh, but Micah, one question that my podcast is starting to be known for is, and it's a funny question, and I know if you've heard it before. Have you ever called somebody out in jiu-jitsu and paid the ultimate price with an L?
So so I don't do I have to stay within those parameters of me actually calling someone out, or is it just
Have you ever talked shit to someone and they fucked you up?
so he probably doesn't even remember this, but this is who what is it? Matt, everybody says Matt. Um let me see. I don't really call anybody out. I'm just being honest. I really don't. Um Oh, Tiago. Not call. I didn't call him
Shut
out.
the fuck up.
But no. See, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what the parameters are because I didn't call him out. It was just like it was like when we first started going to Ace, and like he was like, because you know how like I don't know if you remember, like it would be like everybody else, and then like he had his little group of like Brazilian black belts like in that corner that
Yeah,
they would all just
yeah.
be like congregating and rolling. And like I didn't call him. It was just like I was looking for a role, and he's like I had no one else to go with, and he was like, "All right, buddy, let's go." And like I was rolling with him, and you know how that went. Like I got my shit like there's his pressure.
I
There's
got my
nothing.
shit pushed in, bro.
There's nothing you can do to that guy. Like I've never felt any like the lapel like grip. Like there's nothing you can do. It's like sit there and take the beating. You know.
So my Thiago story. So I was getting ready for, I think it was a competition. I could have sworn it was a competition I was getting ready for. Oh, you know what? I signed up for the one that Felix did, not who's number one. What is it? Fight to win.
Fight to win.
I was preparing for fight to win. And I have a gi on and I go, Thiago, I want you to fuck me up. And he said, why would you want that, Carlos? And I said, Thiago, I want to feel you. And he was like, okay. Bro, from the first grip on my pant leg, I was like, oh shit. And like the world champion freaking like flashed before my eyes. And I was like, oh my God. Yeah, it was murder. Murder was the case that they gave him.
You know what's demoralizing about that? As I said, I didn't call him out. It was because, like I said, I can't think of any time that I've called anybody out. But like I said, it was just like I was sitting on the wall, I didn't have anybody to go with, and he was like, "You don't waste a roll, let's roll." So like the thing that I remember about it the most that was demoralizing to me was he did the coaching while you were trying to like, because I
Yeah.
tried to like hit a slick move, and he's like, "No, brother, that's not gonna work. You need to do." As he's like killing me, I'm like, bro, just kill me now. Like, cause I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a scissor sweep. I'm gonna get him. It's like, no. He's like, oh, it's not gonna work. You need to put this there. I'm like, as he's like choking the shit, I'm just like, kill me now, man. Like, but that's the only thing I can think of that's like, I've really got like, I think he's the only one that's like really beat my ass, like, as an upper belt, like not purpose, like it's not purposely.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah.
he,
Yeah.
he. That's the hardest ass whip I've ever had. Is probably rolling with Tiago.
All the holes you have in your game, he shows it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like literally, he shows it. No, 100%. Actually, I'm gonna have Thiago on the next podcast. I spoke to Thiago on Submission Grappling Series, and I mentioned, I was like, yo, first of all, when he saw me, he was like, I didn't even recognize you because I lost so much weight, and he was like, Carlos, we big hug, and he was like, how are you? And I told him about the podcast. I was like, yo, Tiga, I would love to have you on the podcast. He says, brother, whenever you want, whatever you want, whenever, however, just when I'm not teaching, let's go. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to hold you to that because I want to hear all the stories of Tiago. You know what I mean? That would be cool.
He has a storied career. Like, I didn't realize how much, like, how
Oh, yeah.
how deep it goes.
Oh, yeah. That's why I want to get into it because I really, that's going to be one of those, like, because you know what? I haven't had a Brazilian on a jiu-jitsu podcast, which is kind of, that's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. I'm going to put you on a spot, Micah. Who's your hardest role at Cogito Jiu-Jitsu?
And I knew this was going to come up, so I was scared. So I'm going to do my top 3. Is there a
Nope,
number?
Nope. First, it's your hardest role, and then we're going to do that.
Hardest role?
Your number one hardest role.
Like, Sean. 100%. He pushes me. Like, he puts up with my bullshit. But I've never, like, when it comes to comp time, definitely, like, I would, like, especially my stand-up, I don't know if you see, I try to get in my stance, like, try to move and, like, feint and all that stuff. Like, he's the best person to do that on, I feel like, especially for me. So, I mean, I'd say Sean, but, like, when you miss your opportunity and you ducked when you should have dived, or you shaked when you should have baked, he'll make you regret that. And I think that's the best thing for me. So he's my hardest role. I don't think I've ever tapped him. I do have good like, I've gotten him in some bad spots, but I've never tapped him. But, like, if we're talking about intensity wise, him, because I'll give it to him, he'll give it right back. So yeah. Sean's my number one role.
Sean is everybody's number one. All right. So now, Sean aside, top 3 roles at Cogito.
Okay, but I'm gonna do honorable mention top 6. So so besides him, Felix, is this including Sundays or just in general?
Nope, just Cogito.
Oh, just Cogito? Okay, so
it's Cogito.
Felix, you, and then I'm gonna say a 3 and a 3.5. They're gonna be in the same spot. Just because I can't, like, when he's on, he's on. I'm gonna say Big Dave and Ben.
Okay.
Because Ben will do some, like, Tai Chi, some crazy, like, very unorthodox stuff. Like,
so unorthodox. Yo, a lot of people don't understand. He's an unorthodox jiu-jitsu player, and it works.
It works. But I know it's like, oh, Ben's doing his thing, like, it's a joke, but, like, if you have a serious role with him, like, he'll put you in some tough positions. You'll be like, all right, well, what I do? Like, you'll do what you think you're supposed to do, and his counter to it doesn't make any sense, and he'll get you in a very bad spot, or he'll get you in a sub, like. So I'm gonna say Big Dave and Ben have both have 3, and then honorable mentions is Old Man Javi, or I call him Papa Fuego.
Papa Fuego.
Because bro, if you let him get neon belly on you, have you ever had his neon belly?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
I've almost tapped.
I shut it down real quick. I have to shut it down real quick. I can't. I won't be able to maintain it.
That and his clock choke, because if you go turtle and he gets you in, he I don't know how he does. He's gotten me in a couple times. That, his neon belly, and then his clock choke, like his lapel, not clock choke, like maybe a clock choke where, like, turtle and he's got me a couple times, and, like, not for nothing. You think, oh, it's cool, old man Javi. Like, no, he'll put it on you.
I get lucky because older Javi is scared of my turtle. So he doesn't go for anything in my turtle. So he'll wait until I do something. He will not engage in my turtle because he's gotten flipped so many times, and he'll say it too as soon as he get Diantre Carlo. This one again? Shit. I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to do it again.
So that's my. So if I did my top three, so this is my honorable mention. So, Papa Fuego, Old Man Javi, that's number one. Number two is Nigel. Shout out to him. I know it's like, oh, whatever. Like I gotta give him his props. I thought he was gonna fizzle out, but he props to him. He's doing his thing, and I'm proud of him. Just seeing, cause like you know how it is. You see people come in and they're like, what, and then they leave. Like I thought he was gonna. If I'm being honest, I thought he was gonna try it out and leave. Like he stuck with it. And he's doing he's doing the damn thing. So that's number two, and then number three. Oh, let me see. Number three. I mean, I don't even think. Oh, the twins. They count as one.
Okay.
But they're like interchangeable for like the three, because like they're on the so honorable mention number three, but still in the top. I hate that you make me pick because there's so many good people. There's so many good people.
I know, but it's fun. It's just fun.
So
It's just fun.
the twins, they don't come in dead last, but like if I'm just listing people and there's no rank, they're on the list.
Yeah,
100%, because they are
they're
some.
animals.
They're the funnest, especially when I'm tired on a Sunday. Like, and I'll be like, they're always down too. They talk about people that like they'll
They're
be
always
dead
down.
tired, and I'll just be like, hey, I need a round. They'll be like, yeah, I'll roll with you, Mike. I'm like, all right, and then like, like some of my funnest roles I've had with the twins. So they're definitely on that list. So you said top three. I'm not ranking it in any particular order, and then adding in the honorable mentions make it 6. So everybody I listed, shout out.
No, this was a good one, Micah. This was a good one. No, I'm glad, and I know being away from jiu-jitsu freaking sucks. And and in my head I was like, you know what would cheer Micah up is to talk about a little bit of jiu-jitsu. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, because you know what, like I feel like part of in this gym, like I just feel like me and you are like what's the easiest way? We're like the Bash Brothers. Like I kind of feel like we're technically the biggest ones in the gym, but we always partnered up, and not for nothing, we kind of need each other to like make it to the next level in jiu-jitsu because I need you, I need your feistiness, I need your strength, I need your technique, and then you need my technique and you need my movements, and so it's like we're the yin and the yang. We need each other to go to the next level. So I
Mm-hmm.
always put me and you on the same wavelength when it comes to jujitsu. You
Not
know,
that when I found out you listen to metalcore, I was like, hell yeah, dude. I didn't know
fuck
you
yeah,
sang and everything, and I
dog.
was like, damn. Hey, but you talk shit about Dance Gavin Dance, so I don't know how we're gonna. That's my
Well, I
favorite
needed
band.
to. I almost punched Johnny Craig in the fucking mouth. He's an
Hey,
asshole.
that's the thing. Everybody, I actually know my best friend's wife has like a horror story about, not a horror story like anything. Just like he was talking, like I think like she got backstage passes, or she saw him somewhere, and like he like blew her off, and then like I think something happened. It was like another band that he was in. Their like trailer like either got robbed or it like ran over on the side of the road, and then like she saw him again. It was like, oh, sucks to suck, like a karma type deal. But, like everybody has a Johnny Craig story.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a dick. But it is what it is. He was on drugs, so it's probably not all him, it was the
He's a
drugs, but
tortured
still.
soul.
Huh?
He's a tortured soul. Great
Yeah,
singer.
great singer. Great. I'll give him that. He's a great singer. Even my wife liked Johnny Craig. Like she was like, wow, like he can sing. But little do you know that he's a fucking piece of shit when he's on drugs. But it is what it. But yeah, so it's not the band itself because I like Dance Gavin. That's especially John Mess. I was a big John Mess fan, so I like
So
John Mess.
I'll let you in on this little secret. My car karaoke number one song that I will fuck up, like top of my lungs, is Blue Dream.
By Dance.
Yeah. What color are your fucking eyes,
Mm-mm.
bro?
I don't know
That's
the
my
song.
favorite song by Johnny Craig. But yeah, good times, good times.
Good fucking times. We gotta chill and like just listen to metal and just vibe out, bro. Like,
Oh yeah.
stop playing, bro. Look, you know what? You're disabled right now. You have no excuse.
Oh crap.
Oh yeah, well you do your thing, cause we're running out of time. I don't want to upload a 2 hour podcast, cause then it takes forever. I'm gonna start on everything. So, do you want to shout out anybody or anything before we go?
Shout out Cogito. Shout out my wife. Shout out Carlos for having probably. Hey, and this is one of those things too. Not to get long winded, is everybody's like, "Oh, I'm gonna do a pod." You did it. I remember a while back you're like, "Oh, I'm gonna start a podcast." A lot of people just talk about it, but you did it. So shout out. Keep doing it because I enjoy it. Like since I work from home, I literally have it playing while I'm working. And I'm just like doing that. And also, I want to give a big fuck you to Matt Ferriola. You fuck. Hey, we love you. We love you. Though. It's all love though. It's all love. It's all love.
He ain't gonna take it that way. I love
Hey, I heard you talking shit. Hey, but I'm hurt. He can't do nothing. Yeah.
it.
Hey, no,
Oh my
and
god.
no, and shout out to Matt too. Shout out to Matt.
Shout out to Matt. Matt is awesome. Before I go, I need to shout out Pressure Pass Pressure Washing. If you're in the Orlando area and you need some pressure washing services, please call 407-773-1545. And if you mention this podcast, you'll get a discount on the introductory rate. Micah motherfucking Cross, I appreciate you, brother. To a speedy recovery. We will link up, and thank you so much for your time. And thank you for watching the Grind and Jiu Jitsu podcast episode. I believe 15. We're 15 episodes in, everyone. Um, and if you like the podcast, you like these conversations, please like, comment, subscribe, share it. Just let everybody know, hey, if you want to hear some grapplers talk about jiu-jitsu, just give us a shout out, give us a review, give us a like, man. It goes a really long way to make my dream come true of doing this as a full-time job. Everyone, thank you so much for grinding. Thank you so much for watching, and keep grinding jiu-jitsu. Oh, stay on, Mike. We are out.